We are the secretaries of the Tortured Poets
Mm,
Department.
I love that. Hi, guys. Welcome to an additional fun Patreon episode. We are going to be talking about our thoughts on the Tortured Poets Department. So if you're a Swiftie, you're welcome.
This one's for you. We're going to go through our top 10 as hard as it was to narrow down. And then we also have some thoughts on the Tortured Poets Department being added to the set list, maybe, all the rumors going around, what we've been seeing in her YouTube shorts. And then we also got Gavin and Ryan's top favorite songs. So we can discuss what the boys are thinking too.
I actually can't wait to hear what Gavin's are. I feel like it's fun to see what the boys actually like latch onto when we're listening. Because I mean, I feel like I've only been playing it nonstop. Like every time we make dinner, I'm like asking our Echo to immediately start playing the album. So I'm always curious like what he actually listens to. So that'll be fun. What were your thoughts on the first night of it all, of when it came out? Because we were obviously texting like and Snapchatting throughout the whole thing, but tell everyone like what your feelings were when you first listened.
I was actually very disappointed. And I know that's going to come as like a shock and people are going to like hang me from the trees. But I texted Rosie and I was like, I listened all the way through and fell asleep before the second announcement was announced because East Coast people, like Taylor, you're from Pennsylvania. Like think of us East Coast people. Okay. We were sleepy. I actually was like, it actually put me in like a mood. Like I was grumpy. Like Gavin and I were going to bed and I like gave him attitude and he was like, you don't have to give me attitude just because you don't like the album. And I was like, no, I'm just like, I don't think I'm vibing with it. Like it's not what I thought, in not a bad way. It just wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I woke up fresh minded and I sat again and listened to it. And now I'm obsessed. And it's probably in my top 5 favorite albums ever.
I don't know what I'm going to do on the next album release because I don't feel like I am meant to stay up late. And I mean, like it's only 10 at like in Boise. I just don't think I'm supposed to listen to albums that late because I feel like I can't even comprehend. I was constantly watching the clock to be like, okay, like how much longer should I stay up? Like, should I just go to bed? So I feel like it's not as like of enjoyable of an experience as if like I would have just woke up, like went and got coffee and like went on a walk or went on a drive and like listened that way. Cause I feel like I don't know, it's too late sometimes.
I agree. Like the same thing. I mean, it was midnight when it came out. So
Yeah.
and I looked at the album runtime and it was an hour and 5 minutes. So I was like immediately, okay, cool. Now we're up until 1 o'clock in the morning. Gavin and I get up at 6 a.m. every day for work. So already out there, we're down to 5 hours of sleep and I'm going to be excited. Like I'm doing this like countdown in my head. So I think I agree. And I feel like this album is such a car album too. Like I love just like belting it in the car. So I feel like the car is just like the right place to listen, like first listen to a Taylor album.
I feel like it's so much to digest at that amount of time. Like by the time I went to bed, I was struggling to also differentiate the songs upon first listen. Like I totally agree with what people were saying, being like they all sound the same. But now upon many listens, I don't agree with that. But when you're first listening, I'm like, it just sounds different than what I was expecting. And I couldn't really like even decide what I liked. And then also the fact that she writes with such a vocabulary. I was like, I don't even know what any of this means yet. And I'm just not the Swiftie that's going to decode that.
Right. And then we turn to TikTok. And then that's like a whole other realm of being overwhelmed because I see all these people doing like these massive listening parties. And like, I love that for them. And we've talked about this before, but I just can't listen to it. Even just sitting with Gavin, like he's a Swiftie, but he doesn't understand like a lot of the references and stuff like that. But like listening to an album in a collective group of people where like everyone's like screaming and crying and like no thank you.
Yeah, no.
I just no. Like,
and I have a confession to make. I had no idea this album was about Maddie Healy until someone told me online.
Yeah.
I was not getting that immediately. I was like, I didn't even really know who it was about. I was reading the lyrics and I'm like, I don't really know who she's talking about. I can't, I don't know. I was like, I think it's just because maybe we're older and I'm like, I don't have time to like know every single in and out of everything. And I know a lot more than many people. But I was like, how did we know that like all of these songs were about Maddie Healy and only one was about Joe? I was really struggling there.
I don't even really know if I still believe that too, because like he was such a short little, it doesn't make sense in my mind. She dated Joe for 6-7 years and one song is about him and she had this super quick fling with Maddie Healy and the entire album is about him. Like that doesn't make sense in my mind. Like the math is not mathing.
Well, and that's what people were saying is like they've had like an on and off 10-year like situationship. And that's like why a lot of this album is about him, is about Maddie. But then also then like Midnights was actually like a breakup album about her and Joe. So she's already wrote a whole album about Joe. I'm just like, sometimes I just get so confused as a Swiftie.
I feel like that timeline doesn't even make sense though, because when Midnight's was still like she was going through the breakup when the Eras tour started, which was only a month ago last year.
Well, and it's like unless they've been broken up for a long time, but who really knows?
Right. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. And he played as an opener for the Philly show that I was at.
Oh, like he played with Boy Genius and Phoebe Bridgers. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he there for your show or no?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have Phoebe at my show, but I had Muna and Gracie Abrams. But I saw that he did that, and like he flew from like Milan or Indonesia somewhere like to come to all of those Eras tour dates. Like, and I mean, it does seem like they've obviously known each other for a long time. I don't know the full lore. I don't know if I'll read up on it, but it's just interesting to me. I'm like, I love the 1975. I went and saw them in concert in November. So I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize like he has a chokehold on women. If that is the case, what does he have that the other men do not?
Again, the math is not mathing for me. It doesn't make sense. I don't see it. I don't get it. I'm going to choose to pretend that it's not about him and just keep living in my own little happy bubble over here, because that in my little love bubble, and just I can't, I don't know.
Like I can't do it.
No.
Well, it's like I am so excited for the fact that we get some like love songs. Like So High School is so fun to hear her like sing and talk about her relationship with Travis. And then it just makes my like heart so happy, because it does just feel like it's Endgame, even though it's like what we've all been thinking.
Absolutely. That song is such a bop. It's so happy and fun. And same with I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, even though it is a sad song, technically. It is so like, I'm dying inside, but I'm happy and like putting on a front and all of this stuff. It's everything.
Did you have like an initial favorite off of like the first ones that you listened to, or since you were kind of like feeling meh about it, did you even feel like into any of them?
Down Bad from the Jump was my favorite. It was the only one that I really was like vibing with. I'm a very like boppy kind of person, which is why Fearless is one of my favorite albums, because I just like the bops are endless and it's a very nostalgic album for me. I always just vibe with the boppy songs, which you'll see in my list. Like there's only a few sad, slow songs, and I love those songs. I really do. I just like when I listen to music, like I like when it uplifts me and like makes me happy and I want to sing and dance and like have fun. Your initial favorite right off the jump?
My initial favorite off the jump was I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I'm such a 1989. Like I love that album. I love Midnights as it's like very poppy. Folklore's my favorite album, but I love pop music. So that one immediately I was like, oh, finally, like we're getting something, like there's finally a song that I can definitely differentiate between them all. So that one definitely kind of caught my eye originally. And I do like that. I feel like this is kind of a folklore-esque album. I see a lot of like Folklore Evermore, but then I also see like a lot of different albums kind of like weaving throughout it. So it just feels like very versatile.
I need to find this TikTok that I saw. You might have seen it too. I mean, our For You pages are literally exactly the same, apparently. And I saw someone did like almost like a Photoshop where they put certain songs from the Torture Poets department onto other albums and like would put the title in like on a Fearless album or whatever. And I need to find the TikTok because it's actually, if I can find it, we'll link it in the like description box below so you can watch it. But there were so many songs that I listened to and I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, this could be on Folklore or this could be on Fearless or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I feel like this album is very versatile once you actually like give it a chance. I don't think I gave it a fair shot in the beginning. I was very much like, I was grumpy. It put me in a bad mood.
Well, and when you're saying that, like, I'm kind of curious if it's put everyone in like kind of a funk, because I had posted a video on Thursday or Friday. I just had like a really like funky brain feeling like last week. I don't know if it's because I'm supposed to start my period like in the next couple of days or what, but like I just was feeling like down bad last week. Not sick like you, but mentally. And I posted and people were like, honestly, me too. Like, do you think it has anything to do with the Tortured Poets? Like, because that's all I was listening to. And so many people were like, I actually think that like album has gotten me like so in my feels that like I don't feel good this week. And I'm like, oh, maybe there's a correlation. I don't know.
I mean, that'd be pretty crazy, but I could see it. I feel like the last 2 or 3 weeks, everyone's just been like, ever since the eclipse, something happened with the eclipse. I swear the world just like shifted.
Yeah, because it was the eclipse and Mercury at the same time or
Yeah.
something, retrograde. So I feel like that totally screwed things up. But I'm like, anything that I can blame on something else and not like confront any sort of like actual issues going on, that's what I'm gonna do.
Sold.
Yep.
Sign me up.
I feel like most Swifties have seen the YouTube shorts, which have been so fun because we're getting like such a glimpse at like unseen footage, which me and you have literally talked about on the
I was gonna
Patreon.
say, I think we manifested that for everybody because that's the one thing we wanted. Like more. I just even those little sneak peeks, I'm good with that for now. Like, thank you. I will dissect every second of every one of that little 15-second clip for the next however long until we get another one. But like that is what I wanted to see. Like Taylor just being a human. And that was everything. And she has to have a deal going with YouTube shorts because Girly is like on her grind.
Yeah, like, are we supposed to be posting those? I'm like, shoot, should I be doing that?
Taylor getting into her influencing career.
No, literally. And well, like seeing her like play pickleball and like sewing and just cooking. And like, yeah, it's like I don't need more. I mean, I want more music, but I just would love to like get to know like what her interests are outside of being like the biggest pop star of our generation. So it's
Yeah.
just very cool. And so obviously the YouTube short that we saw, what even song was that too? I don't even remember. Was a bunch of Eras Tour behind the scenes clips. So you got to like see, you know, her rehearsing, which we've seen some photos of that, but not a lot of video footage. And there's obviously some clips of her rehearsing stuff that we have never seen before. Fortnite again. I mean, they're probably pushing Fortnite just because it's the single.
And like her working out, like if Taylor Swift has time to sew and play pickleball and work out, like it's I've seen this quote before and it's like Beyonce also has 24 hours in a day. Like Taylor Swift also has 24 hours in a day. Like she has to make every second count of every single day. I can't imagine how busy she is. Like,
well, it's like that thing when people are always like, well, I'm so busy. And it's like, well, you make time for the things that are important to you. Like
yeah.
you're always like, you're never not going to be busy anymore. Like, especially as an adult, like there's always going to be something to do, but the things that are important to you, you make time for. And that just is what it is. And I'm like, I can't believe she's our little sewer that loves to play pickleball,
Like
cook a meal.
she's
I'm like,
just a girl. She's
yeah.
just a girl. I mean, we all have so like I like to play pickleball. I am actually thinking about getting into embroidery. Like I love seeing this side of her and I just said that it was good enough for me, but like I want more, but at the same time like I'm happy with it.
It just humanizes her so much.
Absolutely, because she really is this like I mean she is truly the biggest pop star in the world and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, as more people get into the world of Taylor Swift, it's like a drug. It's addicting. There's just always something else that you can be learning. I mean, imagine being like just not finding out about Taylor Swift, but just entering the world of being a Swiftie today. You have homework to do. And I mean, that YouTube short of their rehearsals for the Eras tour, I mean, do we think we're getting the Tortured Poets department added to the set list, and where would it fall?
If you would have asked me the week that this album was getting released, do you think that this would be added to the set list? I would have literally laughed in your face and been like, you guys are literally insane. Like, let her just do the Eras tour. But now the evidence is there. I don't know what else they would be doing that for unless they're already rehearsing for the next tour. But again, that just seems, I just don't think that that's realistic.
Yeah.
So I do think it's going to be added. I don't know what songs, maybe like But Daddy, I Love Him. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Who's Afraid of Little Me, maybe. But I could see it maybe like after surprise songs before Midnights because I had been seeing people say she'd end with it, but like, how can she not end on Karma?
No, ending on Karma, like that, I literally could get the chills every single time of thinking of them, like the confetti flying and they're all in the jackets that match the confetti. And it's just like, that is just the prime ending of the Eras tour. Like you can't do that. But I could see it after surprise songs in between midnights, but like that's a whole extra half an hour added to a 3-hour long show. Like,
yeah.
Do you think we'll cut anything? Like, I could see a few things being cut. Like there are certain sets that are a little bit longer than others.
I definitely think that she'll cut things. I could see her cutting. It's hard because like now that she's been running this tour for over a year, every part of the tour and every song that is chosen is iconic in its own realm. And people are going to be disappointed. Like people that are in Europe, if they're getting the tour and like, let's say their favorite song is The Archer and that gets cut.
So literally I pulled up the set list and I was going to say like from every era, if you had to cut one, like Lover has 5 songs, cut The Archer. You like that would be the one in my mind. The Man to You Need to Calm Down. Like we only really get one like snippet of You Need to Calm Down. I mean, Reputation only has 4. Speak Now only has 2 songs. Red has I mean, Folklore is pretty long. Red has 4 songs, and they're all the bops, like the radio hits that real Swifties hate.
Yeah. But she was
But
at 22, like, because it's like iconic stuff that happens. I feel like she wouldn't cut We're Never Getting Back Together because her part with her and Cam. It's like, think about the ones that like she does solo, because those are going to be the easiest ones to cut because they don't have like much production to them.
like Cardigan, maybe.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like that timeline of going from Folklore into 1989, like after hearing Bad Blood, knowing that Surprise Songs are next is truly like the feeling of all feelings. Like like chills every single time.
Yeah, you can feel the flames through your live stream, and you're like, oh my gosh, like chills, like it's about to happen. The whole like place goes black, and you can hear everyone just chatting. It's like it's just iconic. And so it's just hard to know exactly where, because I guess you could put it towards the beginning. Like, what if she went into like Lover straight into the Tortured Poets? But I also feel like the Tortured Poets probably should be darker.
Yeah.
Well. Like outside darker.
Yeah. I feel like after Surprise Songs, but before Midnights really makes the most sense.
People are going to know immediately if songs start getting cut that like something's getting added. Is there only one opener for like the rest of the tour, or is there multiple? Like, because if there's only one opener, they could start earlier and then she wouldn't have to cut anything. But at some point, like, how long is too long for even just like longevity wise? And also just for like 3.5 hours of a show is like, I was exhausted at the end of it. And I mean, I know she's more tired than us, but it's still like a lot for people to even go witness.
It's very draining. I mean, even just like walking back to the bus, I like sat down and I was like, what the actual fuck just happened? Like, it's such a whirlwind. I'm excited for the Paris shows though. I mean, it's fun. Be on the live streams, and with the timing of Paris, it's doable for us. Like, I think it's like noon my time she'll be starting. So 10 a.m. your time, maybe like 2 o'clock, like 2 and 12. She'll be starting in Paris because they're 6 hours ahead. I've already looked. So we will be able to live stream and not lose sleep.
Okay, so what songs do you think that she would add? Do you have any idea? Like right off the top of your head, which ones that she would put on the set list from the Tortured Poets?
I agree with what you said. Let me pull up my list here. But Daddy, I Love Him, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. And I feel like I'm trying to think of like the songs she does that don't have guests in them, because I would love to say Fortnite, but like, would she sing that without Posty? Like, I don't know. I'd love to see her do I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, but almost like maybe like an acoustic version, like a sad version of it could be like fun. But I also love the poppy aspect of it. And like, I imagine I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, almost how like Fearless is, when that part where her and the dancers are like, she's cheer captain, and they all go like that together. Like, I could see her like doing that kind of like choreography, very poppy, upbeat to a song that has very sad lyrics.
Yeah, like super theatrical too.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like that Top Hat Kane situation is that song. I just could see it. Like, I can envision that. And like, I saw on TikTok today, people being like, new Swiftie chant. Like, when Taylor of course, people are saying stuff before we even know it's on there, but like, when she sings I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, we're silent during the more part. And I'm like, you guys, come on. Like when the crowd's chanting more, it's like, I don't actually think that she wants that from us. Like,
it's always too much. It's like she gives us an inch and we want a mile. And it's like, just be happy with the inch. Like, please. We're like, not everything has to be a thing. I remember going to the show in Philly and like feeling so behind because I didn't like memorize the chants and stuff. Like, I knew 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch, and stuff like that. But like, I was like, oh my God, like, am I a bad Swiftie? And I'm like, who cares? Like, all of this is just an exciting thing. And everyone just needs to calm down.
Like, people are like, I just feel so bad that like we attended these shows while she was feeling so horrible. And it's like, it was her tour. Like, it's like, what were we going to do? Not show up? That would have made her feel worse.
Right. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not getting rid of my ticket. Like, if she was ill, then she could cancel a show or whatever. But like, she put on the show. I mean,
well, it's like any job in the world. If someone in your family passes away, or you have a really big work week, or something traumatic happened to you, a lot of the time, like, you might have a little bit of time to process, but you have to get back to the real world. It's like, she can't stop life because she's sad. Like,
Yeah.
that's just life. And that's like a lesson that you learn as you get older.
Yep. Agreed.
Brady and I asked the boys what their like top 3 songs on the album were, because they are Swifties by association and now just become Swifties. So do you want to like popcorn back and forth, or do you want to just say his top 3?
Yeah, let's popcorn back and forth. His one that he mentioned, I'm shocked by. It's a new addition to my list as well, so a little sneak peek, but Fresh Out the Slammer.
Wow. He
Yeah,
has
I'm shocked by
taste.
that. Yeah,
Great one.
I'm shocked by that. I don't even think like as much as he runs down the hallway singing Florida, it's not even on his honorable mention. So I'm kind of shocked by that. So
Honestly, I'll just go off of that. Ryan's one of his favorites is Florida,
perfect.
which I'm
I mean,
like,
I
Bob,
love that song.
it's
Yeah,
so good.
it's so good. Especially listening to the lyrics or like reading the lyrics now that they're on Spotify. There's this one, we'll get to it when we get to our list, but there's like this one part in it that I just adore. I don't want to play it because I don't want us to get copyrighted. Not that, with our 15 subscribers, we're like really on YouTube's radar.
They're like, we got to take those girls down.
You're done. Okay, Gavin's next favorite is My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys.
I am so impressed with Gavin. I feel like he has really good taste.
I think he's just like vibing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His next favorite, because I don't think he gave me an order, but was Fortnite, which I'm like, honestly, I feel like most men are gonna vibe with something with Post Malone on it. Like, I could actually listen to the bridge that Post Malone sings like over and over and over and over and over. I love it so much. Like, I want to like put into my brain. It's a great song, but I'm impressed with the My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys.
Yeah. And I could have seen this coming a mile away because it's on the forefront of everybody's mind right now, but his top favorite right now is Guilty as Sin.
Okay, that's Ryan's as well. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, he's had me some honorable mentions. We have the Black Dog, the Alchemy, and the Tortured Poets Department, which I'm very shocked about because he has never once mentioned even like enjoying that song. So
Ryan talks about how much he really likes that song too, but he, as well as I, can't put it on my list because I just think the Charlie Puth line like is just really, really odd. And I like it really like makes my like brain kind of go like every time I hear it. But I love the song, and I actually might be one of my favorite title tracks that she has. But I don't get the Charlie Puth of it all.
No, and because it's like the whole song is like vibey, and then all of a sudden it's like Charlie Puth, and it's such a strange name anyway. So it's big stretch.
Wow. Yeah.
Dodge is like, this is my show now.
Yeah, he's like, can you guys please pay attention to me? But yeah, the Charlie Puth of it all. I'm glad that you're on the same page because I don't get the correlation. I was curious if he was gonna make maybe he did and I didn't notice it, but I'm like, he should definitely be profiting off of this, like do something.
100%. I would just like ride that into the grave. Like just keep going. You're name dropped in a Taylor Swift song. Like, cool.
Do you think that she like had her team call his team and be like, hey Charlie, like I'm Taylor? Like
Probably
my song. Like, I don't know, like how does that work when like you name drop? I know you don't have to, but I don't know if there's like a courtesy behind it, especially if you're saying something positive.
I would imagine she does just because of how she was literally fucked by Kanye West. So I would imagine she does a courtesy to everybody and is like, hey, like, just letting you know, I'm going to drop your name.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Okay. So we both have posted like our like top 10s over on TikTok, but you posted what within like maybe a couple days after the album was released. So it's fairly fresh on your brain.
Yeah. I think it was like Saturday or Sunday morning. So it was like,
and then I just posted last week, and I do feel like I have a couple different ones or like kind of switched around, but mostly it's all the same. But we can go through our top 10.
Go ahead. You can kick it off with your number 10. I feel like the last 3 songs, like 7, like the 8, 9, 10 spot for me kind of shift around depending on what mood we're in. I want to know your number 10.
So I switched out my number 10 and I put in So Long London because I have been listening to that one a lot in like the last couple days. And I don't think I gave it a very good shot in the first time. Like I like literally was like, this is the track 5. I was kind of confused just because I feel like there's obviously more heavy hitters, but it's grown on me a ton.
That's a good one. And for being a track 5, it is kind of like a vibey track 5. Like it's not a My Tears Ricochet top track 5. Whenever it comes on, it's like those first few notes that it's that song. Like it's very, very, very distinctive in what it is.
Like the little like chorus in the beginning, like the
Mhm.
choir. It's very interesting.
So my top 10 spot, jumping on Gavin's train, is Fresh Out the Slammer, and that's a new addition to the list. You're going to notice a lot of my songs are from the initial album, the first 15 songs, because I had mentioned before I'm kind of like a boppy kind of vibe, so I feel like a lot of mine are in that realm. But yes, number 10 for me is Fresh Out the Slammer. Fresh Out the Slammer.
See, then that one, like, I feel like it needs to grow on me more because I did not like it very much when I did my top 10. But again, I've been listening to more of it this weekend. I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm like not giving it like the solid chance that it deserves. But I feel like this, again, like this is an album that I think my like tops are going to shift a lot throughout the months. And my ninth spot is Fortnite. Like I was saying, that Post
Me
Malone's.
too.
Oh my God, twins.
I love it.
Song.
It's so good. And for being like the first song on the album, I overlooked it a few times. Like my first few listen throughs, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, it's good. But then the music video came out. And now I feel like I can't, in a good way, unhear the music without equating it to the music video. And the music video is so fucking cool. Like I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with them. Like, and it just like bumped it up for me.
Yeah, I'm completely on the same page. Like, and I'm such a visual person too. So like when I like watch a music video and I love it, like it really does make a song feel different for me. One of the things I had like texted you this, but like the part when they're on the typewriters and they're staring at each other, it reminded me so much of like Divine Rivals.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
I
God.
was
Yeah.
like a little like mist going through. I was like, okay, is this like
Yeah.
kind of like Divine Rivals? I felt like a little correlation there, but yeah, the music video really did that one in for me too.
Like, and the part where she like wipes off her makeup and his tattoos are underneath her, like fucking iconic. Like her in the dress on top of the telephone booth, like in the pouring down rain, like the whole thing, everything about it is, I could watch that on repeat just 24/7 on a loop.
Yes. And I'm like, is Post Malone like kind of sexy? Like,
No, literally, is Post Malone like hot?
no, I'm like, I've never like thought he was like a bad looking guy. I just have never like, I've loved his voice, but he's not really my type. But after the video, I was like, okay, like you look great. I'm into this. I'm like, you guys should date. You have great chemistry.
Yeah. I'm like, Travis who? Like, sorry.
Okay, well then what's in your 8th spot?
Fortnite was also 9 for me, so 8 for me is The Alchemy. It's kind of a slower song, but again, like vibey and boppy, and I love it, and I feel like I need to look up the lyrics to it because while I'm going through this in my head, I'm forgetting what every single song sounds like.
You're like, I think I like that one.
Yes, I do like that one.
Like, my memory is jogged and I do enjoy it.
Do I like that? Yeah, The Alchemy is my number 8 spot.
And that one has like also lots of little tie-ins to Travis too on that one, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, there's a few on there. And I don't know, I like it. I like the little innuendos and the little nods to him. If they are to him, who knows?
You're like, if anything, we're just filling in the blanks for Taylor anyways. All of us.
We got you. We got you, girl. Don't worry.
In my 8th spot, I have Who's Afraid of Little Old Me.
Love that. That's at my number 4 spot.
Okay. And like it's I feel like gonna be on people's like top 10 no matter what, because like listening to her scream Who's Afraid of Little Old Me is just like, what? Like I didn't like when I first listened to it, I was like, oh my God, Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, I am scared of you.
Are you mad at me? Like,
Yeah, like why are you mad?
and there's this like trend going around on TikTok, and it's like using that audio, and it's like me when I was like 8 years old. When you're like, when you're 8 and you're just moody and like yelling at your parents. And there's this video of this girl and she's in like 0.5 zoom and her like boyfriend's holding it like up and she's like, "Who's afraid of little old me?" It's so funny. And I can't like unhear it when I listen to this or unsee it when I listen to the song. And that screaming part is just fucking iconic. And I scream it every single time I'm in the car.
It always is like the most fun thing about an album like this is like to see what gets traction on social media, like what people make trends of. Because I just find it so interesting because I'm like what people immediately like the next day turn around and make a trend. Oh, hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Dodge.
He's like, hi,
Dodge,
everyone.
if you're going to be here, you have to give us your top favorite.
Yeah. What's your favorite? He says, he probably likes the Tortured Poets Department because he likes the line of the tattooed golden retriever.
Tattooed golden retriever.
He has a tattoo, which is weird.
Right. Where he was fixed.
Yeah, well, when he got microchipped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, not a lot of people have it, but I remember, like, they told us, they're like, "Oh, yeah, we gave him, like, the little mark that he's microchipped." I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "Wait, so you, like, tattooed my dog? Like, is that a thing?" Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Millie has a little like where she was fixed, or I guess female dogs get what neutered. She
Yeah.
has a little blue like line on her belly, like right where her like skin folds in the middle of like where she
Okay.
was fixed. So it might just be like a laser that they kind of do. I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe it's the same thing. Maybe I got it mixed up with when he got fixed. I don't know, but because it's like that's like the similar. I think it's like a little more greenish on him, but it just
Yeah.
I was like, huh. I didn't
Yeah.
know he's gonna get a tattoo. He's like so hardcore.
Go off Dodger. Okay.
Okay, what? Are you on your 7?
Are we at number 7? Yeah. My number 7 is Florida.
Great
Um,
choice.
it's such a good song. And like Florence's voice is just so distinctive and it fits so well into that song. And it's like almost like a creepy song, like creepy sounding song. And it's something about it is very addicting.
Well, and I love the part where she's like talking about putting people in the swamp, and then she's like, "Is that a bad thing to say in a song?" Like
Yep.
to be like admitting that.
That's
I'm like, it's
literally
so funny.
that whole line is one of my favorites. I love Spotify and their lyrics and Spotify in general. Sorry if anybody out there is an Apple Music person, like I could never.
Yeah, no, I used to be, and I switched to Spotify, and I'm like, why would I have ever? I mean, the Spotify Wrapped is really what I always wanted.
So I did my best to lay to rest. I'm not even gonna, that was, yeah, I'm just
Like,
not even
wow, front row seat to a show.
put me in, coach. Florida is my number 7. Take it
Love
away.
it. I put on my number 7. I moved this one around as I Can Do It with a Broken Heart. It's just as a pop girly, that's like everything I want in a song. And I like actually love like the sad lyrics with it as well. I just think it goes so well. And I'm excited hopefully to see it online on the Eras tour.
I know. I hope she adds it to the set list. That one is on my honorable mentions. I love it though. I love the counting track in it. The 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
When we listened to it the first time around, I was like, wait a second. Like, or like on our first initial listen through, I was like, I think that is her like in-ear track
Yeah.
from the show. And then obviously like I went to bed and woke up and then went on TikTok and everyone was like, oh my God, like it's about her doing the Eras tour. And I was like, okay.
I did it. I got one. Well, I love the outro on that song where she's like, "I'm miserable," and like just talking like
Yes.
so funny, and like she's like, "Come for my job," or try to come for my job. Like I just think it's like shows her personality a lot too, and it's like very silly but like honest, and
Yeah.
like she's a performer, so it's like I feel like that is like a very like the epitome of being a superstar.
I almost feel as if like she was in the studio and was saying those things into the recording, like as a joke, and then they
Yeah,
just fit so well and they tacked them onto the end of the song. Like that's kind of the
yeah.
vibe I get from it. That she was just being silly with the people in the studio and they were like, wait a second, did you just like do something here? And added it to the end.
Yes, because then she has like her little laugh in it too. Like I love like her like deep throat, like ha ha, ha like
Yeah,
laugh. Like, the same as like the "This is why we can't have nice things" laugh. And yeah, it's a good song. So that's my 7th.
I love that.
Dude, come on.
And then in my 6th spot, we have the Black Dog.
Oh, okay. So that's in my 2nd spot. I love
Ooh.
that song.
It's so good. We have blonde dogs, unfortunately,
Yeah.
blonde and red.
Yes.
That's a song that I feel like you really have to like look at the lyrics because there's so much to it, you know?
Yep. Like when she says like even if I die screaming, like it just gets me. I don't know, like that song to me gives me such like folklore Evermore vibes too. I just love it so much.
I feel like there's so many parts in all of these little songs where like she like one specific word she like really emphasizes and does something different in each song, like screaming in that song or in like Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, like screaming. There's so many that are just like little words that she's taken somewhere else and done so much to. It's like something about each song sticks out in my mind.
Yes, I agree. So for my number 6, I have Clairbow.
Okay.
But I just love that song because I love the meaning behind it too. And I mean, she mentioned Stevie Nicks, which I'm like huge Fleetwood Mac Stevie Nicks fan. But I just love that like idea of like people. I guess I don't love the idea, but I find it so fascinating of like people always like comparing you to like the thing before and like what like they were missing, like you have. And so like I just think it's such a fascinating song.
She is all about those second meanings. I feel like everything in her like songs, you can sing one thing and then you sit and think about it and you're like, wait a second,
Yeah.
Miss Taylor.
Yeah. I love it. What's your sixth?
On to five now.
Oh, on to, oh yeah, your six was
On to
what?
five. My number five is My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Oh. Scene of sandcastles he destroys. I
Mhm.
just something about that. I love it.
That one has like the lyrics on that are so good and it's so catchy.
So catchy.
I
Is
just
that on your top 10 list?
it's not.
It's not.
Mm.
Wow.
I know we do have some different ones. Number five is The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived for me.
That's a good one. That one took me a second, but that's a good one.
I just love the bridge of that one. Like I don't know what they do, like the production on it, where like her voice sounds so like muffled audio, like she's like literally like pressing her face up to it. I don't even know what it really is. But again, I think it's just I like it because it's different than anything I've heard from her. And I this dog is like
He's
not
like,
leaving me alone today. He's like, hi, hi. I'm like, why are you so needy? I don't know what's going on.
he's so fucking cute. I'm obsessed.
He's a really sweet dog. Come on, you can lay down. I just think that song is so interesting. But now it's also making me like giggle so much, all of like the edits on TikTok to like The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Like
It's actually wild how much like TikTok influences all of these songs. Like, and just like now, I don't know if I'll ever be able to like listen to certain bridges without thinking of TikTok. Where are we at now? Four.
yes.
Who's afraid of little old me? Well, you should be. That's my number four.
That's a great one. My number four is So High School.
Love it.
I literally am obsessed with that song.
It's
It's
so
just
good.
cute. I don't know
That
Aristotle though. I could never.
that was one of the ones that I was like an initial favorite because
Mhm.
it's poppy and boppy, and I could see that song being on Fearless in another life.
Oh, that's so true.
Literally on the Eras tour, she's like, "Do you want to go back to high school together?"
Yeah,
Ugh,
it's iconic.
the memes of the Eras tour.
What's your number three?
My number three is Daddy, I Love Him.
Okay, like, do you think that everyone's reactions to like the I'm having his baby, no, I'm not, are like legit on TikTok?
No,
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
don't believe anything. Being a TikToker, I don't believe anything I see on TikTok.
But you can see through people a little bit of like, I don't think that that was like genuine. I'm like, I do think some people's maybe, but maybe not all of the ones I've seen. I'm like, really?
My initial reaction to it was like, "Oh shit!" Like, not to like trigger warnings, but I was like, did she have like an abortion with him? Like that was my initial thought of like, oh, she's really opening up this like extra, like not extra, this additional chapter of her life to us. That was my initial reaction.
She was just
Um,
totally yes.
no, she's straight up like psych.
Such a funny line though. Like this album's like funny. Like I feel like it like really shows like her humor. Like I feel like she's pretty like self-deprecating and has like a dark sense of humor. And I feel like you can like kind of see that in this album. And I think
Yeah.
it's fun.
She's straight up coming at everyone's necks. Like, thank you, Amy. I'm unpopular opinion. I don't like that song. I don't like the diss track, whatever we want to call it. I think it's beneath her to do that. If it even is about her, whatever. I don't like that song. But like she's straight up coming at people's necks, like the smallest man who ever lived. Like if I was a man and somebody wrote a song about me called that, I would probably just like live in a hole for the rest of my life.
I would literally never come out. I'd be like, all right, I guess that's it for me.
Got it. Thank you, Taylor. I will see you later.
No, she's kind of savage. I feel like she's like, yeah, I'm literally gonna lay it all out there.
I also, but Daddy, I Love Him. I text Gavin at least twice a day and say, I'll tell you something right now. I'd rather burn my whole life down than listen to one more second of all this bitching and moaning. I imagine her being like, I'll tell you something right now.
Yeah.
Like that's how I imagine her, like,
The finger pointing,
yeah,
everything.
like bitching and moaning. And then at the end when she's like, I imagine her being like,
No, I actually feel like that's gonna be a great comeback. Like if like either of our partners ever is just like bitching and moaning about something, is just to be like literally tell them like don't want to listen to any more of your bitching and moaning.
no, and you could straight up like you can start it out as just being like, you know what, I'll tell you something right now. I'd rather burn my whole life down then listen to one more second of all of your bitching and moaning. Like you could really just like come at their neck.
You kind of sound like you're doing slam poetry though. Like at this
Jesus died for our Cynthia's.
Yeah, no, literally that's what you sound like.
All right.
Okay. My third favorite is The Bolter because
So
it's like
good.
Betty to me on this album. And I just
I
love
think
it so much.
damn it. I think I forgot about that song because I feel like it deserves to be on my list.
Well, we'll add it there at like 5.5 or something for you.
Yeah, I'm
So
adding
that
it to my
was
honorable mentions.
perfect. Well, and it's like that one's hard because, like we were saying before we hopped on this call, like it takes forever to get there because this album is so long. And I haven't been like starting it halfway through at the Black Dog. I've just been starting from the beginning. So it's like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I just want to hear The Bolter, but I still have 6 songs to go.
Yeah. And anywhere you're driving, like you're getting in from like Fortnite to like, but daddy, I love him. And then by that
Yes.
time you're probably at your destination and then you get in the car and you start all over again. So it's like you got to start in the middle of the album to even make it that way or have it queued up or something. But
Yep.
no, I can't imagine any other musical artist out there being like, here are 31 songs for you. Here you go.
And they're all great too. Like it's like they're well written, good songs. It's like it's just shocking.
Like, oh, 15 songs, cool, amazing, thank you, I was happy with that. And then you wake up and there's fucking 31 songs. Like,
Okay,
Dodger,
too.
he's so lovey today. Oh my gosh,
Why are you feeling neglected? I don't know. Hi, thank you for your
he's
paw.
so needy today.
Okay,
I love
what's your
when
number
he's like,
2? I know his paw.
my number
Yeah,
2 is Guilty as Sin.
beautiful. That song, when she says mine, I'm like, it's like a sexy song too. Kind of
So
sexy.
sexy. Have you seen all the again, back to TikTok, of people getting the word mine like tattooed on their thigh?
Yes. Are you gonna do that?
No.
I would never do that either. I made a joke. I was like, told Ryan that, and he was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "No, I don't really think I'm a thigh tattoo girl, anyways. I just think
I
I
thought
have."
about getting like a knee tattoo. Like I really want to get a hummingbird tattoo and I was thinking of having it like around my like 2 of them like around my knee. I thought would be cool. But like thigh tattoos, like that's a whole other level of pain that I don't think I can deal with.
I mean, mine would be like getting mine would be fast, but I just don't. I don't know. I've never really thought about getting a thigh tattoo, and I just was like, "Huh,
Getting it in like your significant other's handwriting would be cute and like a very fine line like
yeah,
mine. Like maybe on like almost like thigh upper butt area would be
oh
cool.
yeah,
Almost a spot that like nobody else would ever see. But this I saw this guy on TikTok straight up just like in big block like Times New Roman letters, just like mine. Like in like point like 100 font size. Like not
oh
even like 12 point Times New Roman, just fuck mine on his
yeah."
thigh. And I was like, why?
Like, no, thank you. Like, it would need to be small and delicate. Like,
Yeah.
it would need to be very tiny.
Like,
But
you can do it tastefully. You definitely could, but the one I saw was just straight up like fucking mine.
if someone does get that, I need to see it because I definitely have nothing against it. I just don't know if I'm a thigh tattoo person for myself. But I just and also just make sure hopefully you're with your partner for hopefully the foreseeable future because that would be a
Yeah.
tough one to have on you.
Yeah. I'm imagining the location of, in Christmas Vacation when he's at the underwear counter and that girl is like, this is what I'm wearing. Like that
Yes.
location. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the Black Dog. Great one. And then your number 1 is
Down Bad.
classic. I feel like
Classic.
that's just going to be your song now.
It's just like the one on my initial listen through when I was like, I don't know if I'm vibing with look at my sunburn.
Oh yeah, you guys can get a sneak peek at Brady's
It's so
sunburn.
bad. I have a dodge with this toy.
No. Oh my god, it looks so painful.
It's more painful in my armpits. Like last
Oh,
night, I was just laying there like, ugh.
like make it stop.
It's gonna be 80 degrees tomorrow, and I really wanted to lay out tomorrow, but maybe I'll just flip onto my stomach.
Yeah, get your back all scorched.
Yeah. Yes. Down Bad on the initial listen through when I wasn't vibing with the song, or with the album initially, I was like, this is the one song that I can get down with. No pun intended. And it's just stuck with me ever since. It's vibey, it's good, and I enjoy it very much. So, what is
Song.
your number 1?
Guilty as sin. Oh. I don't know if it's like the ex-Christian in me or something, but also like literally I'm like, oh my God, am I like going back to church? Like it's doing something to me. And even my friend Taylor too, that was talking to me about it. And she was like, I think it is because we like are people that used to be religious that for some reason this song is like hitting differently. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know what it is, but it's
Honestly,
so
yeah,
good.
I could see that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't practice religion anymore. I mean, I never really did. We didn't grow up religious, but, like, it's not important in my life at all. So, take me to Taylor Swift church.
I want to hear what
Yeah.
your guys' favorite, like top 5, top 10s, like what your thoughts on the album were. Like, is it growing on you? Do you not like it? Because I really honestly could say confidently it's in my top 5 and potentially in my top 3. I just would need to know who's getting the boot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think I would honestly boot 1989 because, like, at the end of the day, Clean is my favorite song still on this planet. But, like, I think as a whole, I like The Tortured Poets better.
It's hard because 1989 is very there's a lot of radio hits on there. So, it's
Yeah.
kind of like it kind of gets overlooked, I feel, because
Yeah.
it's very, there's a lot of hits on it. Um,
Hmm.
but the vault tracks are so good. And Clean's your all-time favorite song. I'm very shocked that that's the one you choose to bump.
I think so. I mean, it's either between that or Midnights, so I'd have to really look, and maybe I would bump Midnights, but
Yeah. I feel like having Debut in my top 3 is just, like, detrimental to my well-being because there's literally 11 songs on not even I don't even know how many. It's
yeah.
the smallest album. She wrote it when she was literally so young, and when it gets re-released, like, I think it'll really, like, be able to hold a candle, but right now it doesn't how do you even compare Debut and the Torture Poets Department? And, like,
Yeah.
those are not even the same human, I'm sorry. Like,
No.
so, definitely Debut would be bumped from my top 3, but Debut is just a nostalgic album for me, so but, like, you can't they are literally not even in the same, like,
Yeah.
mix.
Well, and it's like you could still love Debut, but like you've definitely got to wait to see what Debut like Taylor's version looks like because then I do think that it would be more comparable, but it just can't because there's just not enough and like her songwriting has just gotten better since then. It just is
Yeah,
what it is, but it's so nostalgic. Like so many of those songs like literally I can like see myself enjoying them when I was younger.
yeah. I am excited to hear them re-recorded and also, like, the vault tracks from Debut, like, does she have vault tracks? Like, back then when she was so young and with, like, just putting out her first ever album, like, was she writing songs? Well, we get vault tracks that aren't even really vault tracks that maybe she's
Yeah.
written recently because, like, a lot of artists are moving into the country realm, so maybe she has just, like, country inspiration. So, what
Yeah.
from Post Malone, Beyonce, 2 of her very good friends who are now moving into the country realm, like, who knows what we're gonna get? I'm excited.
I am very excited too. I think it's going to be so fun and that was really fun to chat about. Do you have
I
anything else,
know.
Brady?
I think that's it, but yeah, like Rosie said, definitely let us know your guys' top favorites because this album is so versatile, and I feel like everyone's favorites are reflecting that.
Yes. And thanks for letting us just also talk about books, but then talk about other things that we like Taylor Swift. And thanks for being here.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Love you guys. Oh my gosh, look at our nails. We are
I
rocking the book club this week and we're just
love it.
bye guys.
Bye.